Hi, welcome to Lunchtime Live with Sharon Galluzzo. I hope that you all had a wonderful holiday weekend. I know we did. If you looked on my page, there's a little beach video. We spent a little time at the beach this weekend, which was really very nice. And back at work today, Tuesday, that's a Monday. I almost forgot that it was Tuesday this morning, so I had a friend remind me about a meeting. That was very appreciated. I would have been a day off. So welcome again to Lunchtime Live. I will spend a minute just talking, waiting for people to pop on if they want to come on live. I know that lunchtime is sometimes a good time and sometimes not a good time, so it works for me, so I'm trying to be really consistent about this. Don't forget that if you can't watch it live, it's recorded as a post on my Facebook page, so it will stay on my Facebook page and you can go back and watch it anytime. I welcome you to leave some comments, ask questions. William Dickinson is awesome. He doesn't ever get to get on live, but he also often has some really good insights to share. So go back and look at the previous Lunchtime Lives and see what William has to say, because he's a really fabulous person in general, but he also has some really neat things to add to the conversation. So in fact, one day I might even have him on a Lunchtime Live so you can meet him in person. He's a very good dude. Today I'm talking about gratitude and the importance of being gracious, I guess is what I should have said. I think I named this wrong. The importance of having gratitude. There's a play, it's called The Importance of Being Earnest. If you don't know it, I encourage you to go see it in a local theater, read it. It is hysterically funny. And it actually talks about the importance of being earnest, and that you would think from the title that would be some kind of way of being. Somebody's very earnest, they're very honest, they're dedicated, they work hard. But in the play, the importance of being earnest is not how you are, but what your name is. So it's important that Cecily marry someone named Ernest. So it's a very fun social satire, and kind of makes me think about, the importance of gratitude and how we sometimes give lip service to that. But the importance is not that you say that you are, but to actually be that thing. So not to just have the name of Ernest, but actually to be earnest, to be an earnest person. So I wanted to focus on gratitude today. And there is a saying to have an attitude of gratitude. And that is really sort of a catchphrase. I kind of like that because it sticks in my brain, attitude of gratitude. So whenever I recognize that in my business, in my life, in what I'm doing, I'm not really being gracious, I am not appreciating the things that are happening in my world, whenever I can click back an attitude of gratitude, that's right, I need to be looking at this situation from the other perspective. For example, I had a very horrible day last week. Just little things going wrong and frustrating things that happened all day. And I recognize that I have a habit of coming home and telling my husband all about my day, and the things that I often tell him are the negative things, the things that went wrong, because I have such an emotional connection to them. They created a frustration in me, so they created an emotion and created this thing where I'm feeling like this about it. So coming home and having that as a pattern, I've noticed we've sort of slipped into that. So like I said last week, I had a day that was just particularly frustrating. And I came home and I said, you know what? I'm not going to focus on that. And so I went to Peter and I said, would you like to hear what great things happened today? And he was like, yes, I really would like to hear you talk about something good. So there were 2 or 3 highlights of things that really just made me smile that day. And so I shared those with him instead of the frustrating things that happened. And you know what? I felt better. He felt better. It was a better exchange. It was a more enjoyable time to spend talking about what happened in my day, when I was focusing on the things for which I was grateful, when I was focusing on those things that made me happy that day, as opposed to made me feel frustrated. And I think that it's really an important topic to have in our businesses, to talk about why gratitude is important, because it sometimes will come out in the way that we feel about our customers. So my question today is, how do you feel about your customers or clients? It really matters. Are you frustrated by them? Are you encouraged by them? Do they just wear you down? Do they take every ounce of energy and sap it out of you? Do you, when the phone rings, do you have that bipolar response of, ugh, I don't want to answer the phone, and it's money. That's a customer calling. And do you have that internal battle of, I don't really want to answer the phone and answer these questions and deal with this situation, versus the other side of you that says, but that's where the money's coming from, and so you force yourself to answer the telephone. When you find that you're in that sort of conundrum place, when you're in that in-between place, it's really the time to remind yourself to have an attitude of gratitude. Because when you're frustrated and when you're stressed out, your customer is going to know that. Even if you don't say it, they're going to sense something is wrong. So when we are approaching our customers, when we're interacting with them, we really need to remember that if it were not for them, we wouldn't be in business. And not in a way that makes us beholden to them and says, well, I have to do it because if I want money, I have to do that. I have to be nice to them. Approach it in the way that you're appreciating the fact that they chose you, that they're coming to you for their businesses, for their service, for their needs. You're the one that they chose. And remembering that when they come, when they call, when they ask questions, that it's because we're fulfilling a need for them, but we need to be appreciative of the fact that they came to us, they chose us, and that's why they're sitting in front of us. So really thinking about how you feel about your customers is important, because that they will know. They'll feel it somehow. We just had a customer come into our video store, and he was delightful, just a wonderful person. But he said to me, the person who answered your telephone, it wasn't me, by the way, it was Amy, who works for us and is absolutely phenomenal with customers, and she's just a great person. But he said to me, the reason that I came here, the reason that I passed 2 other towns, the reason that I didn't go to any of these other places that might have been closer to me, was because of the way Amy treated me on the telephone. She was gracious, she was kind, she had a wonderful energy about her, so that when the customer called, he said, this is where I want to take my business. And he traveled out of his way to come to a business where he felt appreciated, where we are grateful that the customers choose us and come into our business. And this can extend through all parts of your life, through your business, through your personal life, through your recreational activities. It's important to have that attitude of gratitude about everything that you do. I just recently spent some time with someone who just saw everything from the perspective of, this is wrong, why is this way, that person wasn't responding to me in the way that I thought they should respond to me, and everything seemed to be very focused on what the experience was not, what was lacking in the experience. And if that person had taken the time to say, here I am in this experience. There are good parts and there are bad parts. I'm going to choose to focus on the good parts, and I'm going to enjoy the experience while I'm here. It would have been a completely different experience, instead of focusing on what was lacking and what wasn't there and what the frustrations were. And I'm not, I'm preaching to myself as much as to you at this point, because I have those days whenever I am just focused on the frustration and what's hard about it and why this isn't fun anymore and what is draining about the situation. And I was reminded by a friend the other night. He actually received an award for something, and in his speech he said, when it gets tough, when you get frustrated, when you think, why am I even doing this anymore? Take a step back and remember what made you happy about it. Remember the relationships that you've garnered in this situation, and look at it from that perspective. And I so appreciated his words that night, because they touched me so deeply and really made me stop and go, oh, yeah, this activity can be very frustrating, but gosh, what wonderful things I get from it. And I need to turn my perspective around and remember what made me happy and look at it from the joy that I get it, and not from the perspective of the drudgery side. Because yeah, everything that you do has good and bad. So it's up to us to focus on the things that we're grateful for. Be grateful. My car right now does not have air conditioning. I live in North Carolina. It's the summer, and it's gonna be in the 90s today, and my air conditioning doesn't work in my car. And I could choose to be frustrated and angry and annoyed and sweaty and every other thing that comes from not having air conditioning in my car, or I could focus on the fact that my car runs. I can drive it wherever I need to be. I can find a shady place to park. I can roll down the windows and pull my hair back and enjoy the breeze in my hair. And I might get out a little sweaty, but I can choose to focus on the good, or I can choose to focus on the bad. And it just helps me. I'm a happier person. I'm more centered. I'm more energetic when I'm grateful. So it's really important to be grateful. And in that spirit of gratitude, I also wanted to talk a little bit about appreciation. And appreciation is just saying to somebody else, you're making a difference in my life. You're being here, you're doing that little tiny thing or that big, huge thing, saying thank you, saying I'm glad you're here, saying I appreciate you. It's something that I really focus on a lot, is trying to tell the people in my life I care about them. I'm glad they're there. I appreciate them. Recently, 3 of my friends have had, their mothers have passed away. I'm so grateful and fortunate that my mother is still here. And I think about all these times whenever someone passes away, and everybody puts all these wonderful memories on Facebook about the person that what it meant in their life for that person to be there, and share memories and all those kinds of things. And I wonder sometimes, when that person was alive, did we take the time to tell them? Because now they're gone and they're not hearing it. So appreciate the people in your life. Tell them how much they mean to you. Tell them, just be kind. When someone holds a door open for you, say thank you. And honestly, don't make it as a, when someone sneezes, bless you or something like that. Really mean it. Really say thank you. Really have that attitude of appreciation for something that someone else did for you. And I just want to be really appreciative right now. Arthur Zepeda joined. So, hey, Arthur, hope you're having a great day. I was talking about you in one of my earlier live broadcasts, so you might want to go look for that. But I hope everything's fine in sunny California. It's really important to say thank you, to tell people how you feel. I know in our society we're very good about complaining. When something isn't right, we make sure to tell the manager. When we've been, when something isn't, when we've been wronged or we had bad service, or we make sure that everybody knows that. Yelp, all those kinds of places on the internet, people will blast, I went to such and such a place and the service was so terrible. But do we remember when we have the good experiences to share that as well? Because yes, knowing when you do something wrong and where you need to improve is really important, because we can't get better if we don't know where we need to improve. So it has a purpose and it has a place. But going out and saying kind things and appreciating people where they are and what they've done is just as important, and even maybe more important, because it raises the elevation of everything. It raises your mood, it raises their mood, it raises the mood of the people who are looking at your Facebook posts and seeing what you wrote, and it just makes everybody feel more alive and more connected and more positive. So I truly encourage you not only to be grateful, but to express that appreciation to the people around you, to express your love and your memories and the fun things that people do and how they impact your life in a positive way. Share that with them. And don't be afraid to say thank you. I say thank you a lot. If you ask my children, I say I love you a lot. They actually kind of roll their eyes sometimes whenever I tell them I love them, because I wanted them to grow up never, ever, ever questioning whether or not they were loved. And so I know I say I love you all the time to them, and I'll be just randomly, hey, and they're like, what? I love you. I know, Mom. But it's important to me for them to know that they're important to me. And by telling them I love them, it just is my way of reaching out and giving them a verbal hug. I have teenagers now who are not into personal contact at all. I get the hand, I get the shoulder all the time. So saying I love you is a way to reach out and just give them a verbal hug. So in your businesses, you may or may not want to tell your customers I love you. Depends on your business. But I am one of those friends who I'll tell my friends I love them when I get off the phone with them. My family, every time I get off the phone, without fail, I love you, is almost my way of saying goodbye. But I've done that with my friends and taking my friends quite off guard whenever I'll be talking to them and I'll be like, okay, bye, I love you. And they're like, okay. Because I do. I truly care deeply about people, and I want them to know that. I don't say that to every single person that I know, but to my very good friends, they're also on my I love you list. So with your business, with your life, I encourage you to be in an attitude of gratitude and to be appreciative, to let people know how much they mean to you. Let your customers know how much they mean to you. Send them thank you letters. Tell them verbally. We have a lot of customers who will make comments on our Facebook page when we finished a job about how well it was received by their family or how much they appreciated it. And we always try to go back and say, thank you. We were honored that you allowed us to give you this service and to provide this gift to your family. And we want to always be in an attitude of appreciation and gratitude. And blog post. I'm going to post a blog post on this Lifetime Live at the bottom in the comment section. And this week's blog post is here to help you. It's about customer service, but it's about being appreciative about your customers and how to have an attitude of not how can I help you, but here to help you. And I think that you will really enjoy that. It has a sweet story about my youngest daughter. And I hope that you have enjoyed your lunch. If you ate with me, I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I can't eat and talk at the same time. Well, actually, I can. You probably would not want to see that. But I thank you so much for joining live if you were able to pop in live. And if you're joining us later, thanks for stopping in. Again, please leave comments, ask questions, and let's get the conversation started. Put everything in the comment section below, and I will see you next Tuesday at noon Eastern Standard Time in the United States. And thanks again for joining us. Oh, go to my blog post. You got to know where to go. So SharonGalluzzo.com is the website, and Sharon Shares is where all my blog posts are listed. So you'll look for the one that says here to help you. And again, I'll put a link at the bottom of this page. But if you want to go to SharonGalluzzo.com, I do have other blog posts there. I have resources that you can check out and find out a little bit more about me. And if this video has been at all helpful to you, I hope that you will share it with someone else. You can share it just like any other Facebook post, and get some other people involved in the conversation and joining us here on Lunchtime Live. Thanks again for joining, and I hope to communicate with you soon. Have a great day.